Start the recording. If anybody missed yesterday's recording, or if anybody got on late and needs an explanation again, I have the call recorded. So if you want it, just send me a message and I'll I can send it over to you. All right. I don't know why I get so damn confused when sharing my screen. It's honestly because I haven't used this in a minute. Okay. All right. So we are on the 2023 Elite Zone Advanced class tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. These sessions that we're going to do, all of them on Monday and Sunday, are going to be more of a lesson plan type of thing, mastermind. It's going to be a little bit more of, we kind of sit like more of a class per se. And then on Tuesdays, that's the regular Elite Zone. But all of you guys but one, I told Kevin to get on tonight because it's going to be it's going to be more of a teaching session, but for everyone from the beginners to the advanced. And then on Wednesdays is going to be more action, right? So we're going to have more action stuff planned on Wednesdays. These days are going to be more, teaching something that needs to be learned and understood on a deeper level. If anyone does the one-on-ones and you guys, schedule any of those are going to be a little more, they're going to be catered more to you specifically. So this is going to be more of a classroom setting. Please ask questions that you have on here. That's going to be the smartest thing that you can do, is ask questions. And if you do need more time, if you do need more help, just click on the link that I posted in the chat and then book down a time, and then we'll figure out, what we need to talk about on there. Because if you feel like you can be more open in that setting and that'll help you, then that's what you need. I don't necessarily know what every single person needs until you actually speak up and we can actually have a conversation about it. So these are going to be more of a in-depth talking together as a unit, and finding the different things that are needed for you all to become aware of how to trade properly. Okay, so again, it's not anything too crazy that we're going to be doing, but it's going to be things that are going to be needed to where you can get to where you're trading profitably. And remember, my entire thing this entire year is getting people funded and getting people paid, right? Because it makes everybody money at the end of the day. I mean, the passive side of income from the funded accounts, I make way more money, short term and long term. So it's a passive income. You guys make thousands of dollars a month. I in turn, if I have all 16 of you guys funded on this with $50,000 to $100,000, I'm making thousands of dollars a month. And it's a good thing all around. And I'm going to do my best to work with each person individually to really make the kind of income that you want. Because I mean, face it, you see, you guys know how hard it's been to get this far, right? You look back and you're like, damn, I overcame this battle, I overcame this struggle, this happened in my life a year ago, this happened 6 months ago, all these different things, but you're here. And there's a reason why you're here, because you really want it. Nothing is stepping in as a distraction. Just like yesterday, I was talking about that this is going to be the year to get out of your head. Because when you guys get these real funds, it's a whole other mental game that's being played inside of your head. Because it's this thing that comes up, and I'm going to try to explain it in the best way I can. But when you have the money, like you got it, right? Like you have real money. And so now you have that real money, and every trade now you have there's a thought that comes up in your head. And I was talking to Kevin today on the phone, and I was saying, it's not necessarily that you have to trade or think as a professional trader does, right away, because that's going to take years to really formulate those habits and to really get that down. But you just don't want to do and act like all of the other people who lose money, the 90+% that lose money. So you essentially want to do the opposite of what a lot of those people do. So that's really the thing when we're here, is to really stay away from the 90 some percent of people that do not make money. So the other habits are going to take time. But the thing is with trading, and I did this within my first 2 years, the thing is with trading, you're going to be able to make money and actually profit from trading. Now, you might not make consistent money month in and month out. It might take a little bit of time for you to really get the swing of things. And that's really what today is about, is talking about, how will you separate? How will you separate from the masses? Like how a lot of the people that do it, you think, how many people do you guys know in the last year who don't trade anymore? Who don't do it. There's people that are on this call right now that there was a different set of people on this call 6 months ago. There was a different set of people on this call 1 year ago. There was a different set of people 2 years ago, right? And you can think like, yeah, whatever happened to so and so? And everybody is gung ho about it. But then not everybody really truly wants this. So how are you going to separate? How are you going to go from, okay, I show up, I get on the calls, that's cool, but how are you going to separate from those who just lose money and can't make any money, right? And I put together 4 major points, right? Now what we're going to do is a call to action after this. We'll do it in the call also, but we'll also have something to do after this. So this is going to be like, okay, how bad do you really want it? Because it's on the table. You guys are already going to be able to get a $10,000 funded account by just being in the advanced elite zone. But those of you guys who really, really want to advance are going to end up going for the accelerated, because once you get the 50K account, you stack that to 100K, you can wait 6 months and you can get $100,000. You just, of course, have to pass the phases, but you got access to that. So there's no reason you're paying it forward to your funded accounts. That's what you're doing. That's how I really wanted to build everything this year, because again, like I said, people need to get funded. You guys really are on the cusp of separating yourself. So point number 1, find your go-to move. So that is your trade setup, guys. Your go-to move is your trade setup. If anybody in here watches sports, you see, athletes in the world that have trained for specific moments and for specific things, and they have a go-to move for whenever the situation, when it comes down to it, a shot, maybe a pass, or maybe something that they do in their sport, in their profession, that they go to, and that's what that's what's gonna bring them home. Your go-to move is your trading strategy. That is your setup. So when specific things come up in trading, guys, when specific things happen, you have to pull out your go-to move. And whenever you pull that go-to move out, you know exactly what you're doing every single time. It's a habit at this point. You've practiced it enough that you know that it's a habit at this point. And then the next thing that you have to do is allow no room for distractions. What is a distraction in this business? A distraction in this business is you going into your mind and you beginning to tell yourself another story outside of what is right in front of your face. You tell yourself, well, Russia just did so and so, so maybe it might end up going the opposite way. So maybe I should put a trade in down here instead of right here on this double bottom. And when you know that there's the double bottom right there, maybe I don't know. China just bought all these different things with gold. Just bought billions and billions of dollars with gold, and I don't want to miss the move. So let me just go ahead and get in now. And it has nothing to do with your go-to move. It has nothing to do with it at all. But you allow these distractions to come in to play in your mind. Do you understand that over 90% of people in trading allow these things to happen on a consistent basis? The better that you are of not allowing these distractions to show up and to hinder you and to stop you, the better you're going to be in trading. It's just plain and simple what will be able to happen for you. So whenever you can separate yourself and say, okay, I'm not going to allow for these distractions to stop me. Whenever you begin to do that, guys, that's what's going to separate you on a whole nother level in this. Having that go-to move in trading, a lot of you guys, you've been practicing that all year last year. You've been going through the elite zone of what we've been doing. We've been having conversations about everything. You guys have learned a lot of different moves in trading. You've seen a lot of different setups. A lot of the stuff that we did last year was all geared towards and catered towards doing those things. So a lot of you guys were able to see that and go through that, right? So now it's really, really about, okay, really getting that working. Seeing, okay, when this happens, how do I react? Like, what is it that I really, really react to whenever I get into a double bottom trade and then the market goes down and it wicks me out? What is my thought process? Like, what is it? And these are the different things that we're going to be doing together, guys. These are the things that we're going to be doing together that are going to help separate you. Help separate you. And if you have done these different things that I'm going to give each and every week, each and every Monday, then by the time that you guys get your first unlocked account in April, many of you will be ready. You'll be ready because of what you'll be practicing. So if you really, really buckle down and you really, really put in the time, you will be able to have thousands of dollars accessible to trade for you. Now, we all know the smartest thing to do is not to use your own money in doing this, right? It's to prove that you can trade as a professional can trade, that you can manage your risk, that you have a go-to trading strategy, and that you understand how to utilize those things within a proper trading plan, right? So how will you separate? Find your go-to move. Allow no room for distractions. Those are the two things that we talked about. Next up is trade what you see. It's simple. All you do is you trade what you see. Good example. I'm going to have to call out. I don't even know if Tim's on, but if you're, yep, good. An example of last year. Many of us were on, right? I think the time before this, there was a setup where there was an M-top setup. Tim had, many of you remember this, and I'm gonna pull this out for education purposes. There was an M-top trade. Tim took the trade. It's an M-top trade, and then there was another opportunity where it happened again, and I think it was just a couple weeks later, maybe a week later. There was an M-top trade on Euro USD. Now I have a extremely exquisite photographical memory, so I see everything in my mind. So sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to explain it, but it's just because how I see it in my head. He took an M-top trade on Euro USD. Mike brought up a really good M-top setup in USD JPY, and the trade wasn't taken. I specifically said on that webinar, because I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. I'm just going to make a suggestion, and you can do it or not. It doesn't really matter. These are all the truths that you have to come to find on your own, and it's fine if you find it then, and it's fine if it takes you a year to find it. It doesn't really matter. It's just what you come to find. So no one is necessarily wrong in this situation at all. But there's an example of when there's an M-top and you trade what you see, it's an M-top, trade what you see. Allow no room for distractions. Don't talk yourself out of if that is an M-top, if that is a double bottom, if that's a head and shoulders, if that's the fib 61.8, if that is a trend, an uptrend or a downtrend. You don't talk yourself out of it. Again, you allow no room for distractions. So you trade what you see. The way you're going to separate is doing these 4 points right here on a consistent basis every single time. You will separate tremendously if you do these 4 things every single time. You find your go-to move. That is your, when you see it, you're like, oh, boom, no, got it. Here it is right here. And then it's a perfect flow into your mind of not allowing a distraction. You trade what you see at that point. If you see a zone that is saying, this is where my stop loss needs to go, then put it there. Now, you guys know I like to use the line chart for my stop losses because that's usually the strongest point of reversal. And it's and another reason is there's those big wicks that usually happen on some of those plays in the market. But I'm also not trying to put massive stop losses on my account every single time because I want to have like a really solid account growth consistently. Like that's really my goal, is to have a solid account growth. So that's usually why I don't put really big stop losses on. So I'll look at it and say, okay, do I need to put my stop loss above the wick, or is the market showing me that that wicked up got enough money in that moment, and this line chart is holding really, really solid, right? So those are things that I look at in those moments. So there's things that I have inside of my trading strategy that help me tremendously, that I literally just know exactly what I'm doing every single time, and I don't have to sit there and get in my head. I'll have to check my charts to see what happens from time to time, because usually I don't have to take profit and I just kind of want to let the market make me a good amount of money on the trade. But other than that, those are different things that I have. And the last but not least is live with the outcome. And this one right here, guys, this living with the outcome is in the present moment. There's one thing that I read, it's actually in the 5 love languages. There was a part in the book where it says, let's see, it was it says, he says, trying to get this as close to right as I can, but basically people like to ruin every new day by bringing up the past, by bringing up something that happened in the past, right? And it doesn't just hold true for relationships, it holds true in your life. We love to punish ourselves for something that we did that no longer exists. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't exist anymore. You understand that the past is no longer something that is here. It's only whenever we make a conscious choice to bring the past into our present, it's only when that then do we relive that moment again. And there's different phases to living with the outcome. And many of you guys may understand, many of you guys may get this whenever I say that living with the outcome is after the fact of when the trade stops you out and you choose to go to that and relive that moment again in the next trade, when it doesn't exist. It's not something that is there. So in that moment, if you have done your go-to move and you know what it is, and you don't allow room for distractions, and you are trading what you see, then if you have done those 3 things wholeheartedly to a T, and you agree with all of them, you just live with the outcome. There's now nothing that can be done beyond that point, because guess what? It's in the market's control. It is literally in the market's control at this point. There is now nothing that you can do. This is why I tell you guys that with what I'm teaching you, it is no different trading demo than live. Because the only thing, you don't have money, and you don't affect the market in the same exact sense, But if you trade exactly what I'm telling you to do on the demo account, I'm gearing you towards trading as a professional in the market, just as I do. So everything that you're being taught, no, your demo account won't necessarily affect the market in a sense, but you're gonna get, like, the spikes are still gonna happen, the big moves are still gonna happen, like all those things are still going to happen. Your little bit of money is not necessarily going to tip the market in a massive scale. There's literally trillions of dollars being traded. Now, maybe if you're in like the billions of dollars aspect, like that you have like $1 billion at risk, then there's going to be, something that comes up. But not necessarily when you're talking about 50,000, 100,000, and you're risking $1,500, $500, $1,000 on moves. Like that's not like anything major to do with the market. So when we're talking about that, you guys are being taught exactly how to do this in the ultimately correct way of creating a profit in this. So you live with that outcome. Whatever happens, guys, it is what it is. There's no control beyond this at anymore. You have no more control. The only thing that you can control is your risk, and whenever you enter a trade, that's it. That's literally the only thing that you can control at this point is your risk. There's nothing else, and when you get in. So when you're trading, you have to be patient enough to wait on your setup to happen. And then when it happens, there's no talking yourself out of the trade. It's just you're doing it, right? And there's so many different layers of how you can talk yourself out of a trade. You could have won 3 trades in a row and made 12, 17%, and you could be up the most that you've ever been up. And you might have something that you want to do next month. Like maybe you want to take your first trip somewhere and you need like 5 grand, and you need funds to pay your bills while you're gone, whatever. And you don't want to take that other trade because you don't want to risk losing what you're already up. Do you understand that is you talking yourself out of that as a distraction? That you're not trading what you see at that point. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how the layers they come up? And so these are the things that whenever these things happen, guys, you have to look at it, and just like I talked about yesterday, there's a lot of things you just have to say no to. You just say no. No, I'm not going to allow this to stop me. This isn't going to be something that is going to stop me from making the type of income that I want. And that's just what you have to do. So separating yourself, guys, is doing these on a consistent basis. Consistent basis is what it is. So whenever we're looking at the market and we're seeing different things that go on in this market, guys, those are the things that are going to separate, that are going to allow you to massively separate from all the people who do not make money in this. And the more whoever does this the most consistently, whoever does these the most consistently is going to have the most profitable and peaceful trading careers. It's just what will happen. And again, it's not going to be 100% of the time that you get these things that go on, but whenever you do these on a consistent enough basis, you're going to pass the challenges, you're going to get paid out in the challenges, and you're going to be able to have a happy trading career, a consistent trading career. But it's just going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of consistency for these things to happen with you guys. So it won't be something that happens every single time. And don't look at it as a negative thing if you don't get it right immediately. Like you don't have it immediately down. That's not how you want to look at things, guys. That is not how you want to look at things. It's just things are going to happen on your journey that are going to help you reach the type of outcome that you want, but it's going to be things that are going to be needed to happen for you to really get yourself to that level and to that place where you want to make money at in trading. So those are the things that are going to happen with this. So now what I wanted to do was go into the charts a little bit. Is the next thing. Go into the charts and talk about a few things, how all this is, and how you'll separate, and how you're going to get to the next level in trading. Because in doing this, it doesn't just immediately happen. It's a consistency thing that will happen over time, but you just have to give it time. And many of you guys are committed to the long haul in this, which is great. And I'm hoping that many of you guys can, step into the accelerated elite fund, because the amount of funding that you can get in the year is 200 in a year span is 200,000. You get 4 tries at $50,000 if you want to, or 2 tries at 100,000. And everything is cheaper. It's a little more upfront. And also I'm going to mention this. Don't forget that if you pass the challenge, guys, you get the money returned to you. So do you see what is happening? Like you're going to get the money returned. So you're paying a little bit more upfront for it. You're paying $150. Well, it's $200 to you guys, so we'll just say that. So, but it's a total of $150 for 3 months, so that's $450 that you're paying for the 50K account, instead of, because the other one is going towards the trainings, the one-on-one trainings. The other $50 is going to that, and then $150 is going to that. And once you make your money, you get the funds returned. Like once your first withdrawal hits, that money is included in there. So that's another thing. So it's an even better deal, because you're actually getting all that money back at the end of once you pass your account. So GoToMove. Here we go. So I'm going to do a quick breakdown of how this works, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. This is the monthly chart. Let's not put too much emphasis on that this is a monthly chart, okay? Let's just put emphasis on the setup. So if I am a, let's see what color this is. Yeah, we'll keep that color. If I'm an MTOP trader, you guys know what I'm looking for on an MTOP. I'm looking for an excitable move up. I'm looking for the neckline to happen. And now once this has happened and price comes up to here, I am looking to enter in price somewhere pinpointed in that area right there. That's where I'm looking to enter at in the market. It's somewhere in that. So whenever we see this, that's what we're looking for in the market to take trades on. Okay. So now at this moment, your go-to move may be, I'm an MTOP trader, and that's totally fine. You be an MTOP trader, right? So we know this setup right here on gold is the setup of an MTOP, right? We can clearly see that this is the excitable move here. Here is the pullback right there. And then as this thing moved up, this was where the M was getting formed, right? A lot of you guys know at this point that that's also how an uptrend begins to look until it's not, right? So we know that that's how an uptrend starts. It has an excitable move, it has a pullback, and then it blasts through the high of this point and then continues on to create a higher high, right? Again, a distraction if you are an MTOP trader. You are not worried about if that is going to be an uptrend or not, because guess what? It hasn't happened until what? It happened. And then if you know that you're an MTOP trader, you are not worried about what happens next besides taking your trade setup, meaning trade what you see. And then at that point and beyond, you live with the results. That is what you live with. Now, in this moment, we all know that this is a monthly chart. So this wick is probably like, this wick is like 200 pips. Yeah, it's like it's like, no, it's 1,000, yeah. So that's 1,000 pips in this moment. So let's picture this. Do not look at the pip amount, okay? Don't look at that. As an MTOP trader, what you're doing in this moment is you're looking at the chart, okay? You're looking at the chart, and whenever you see this setup here, this is your entry point right here. Now, if you're looking at this again, do not look at the far right of the screen and worry about the stops, or look at the pips here. What you're doing is, you're like, okay, here is my strongest point of reversal. Say this is the minute chart. Here's my strongest point of reversal, and this is 10 pips, 15 pips up right here on this wick. When you do it again, you trade what you see. What you are doing, and this is the kind of different things that we're going to be doing along this week, is you guys tonight and you guys tomorrow, what you're doing is these active setups, exactly what I'm doing right now. Write those 4 points down in front of you. You have your go-to move. You write that down. Underneath that, you say, I'm an MTOP trader, I'm a double bottom trader, because you catch the sells on M's, you catch the buys on W's. You're a trend trader, so you trade uptrends, downtrends, right? And so that's something that you do. That can't interfere with you taking an MTOP or a double bottom, because obviously if you're trading a trend, then you expect it to go above the high, you expect it to go above the low. But you have to trade your setup. You have to trade what you see in this. So when you do that, you write that down. Find your go-to move. Okay, boom, there it is. It's just pretty much the same as what we did last year. You find your trading setup. What kind of trader are you? That was the question that you asked, right? But now we're in a little bit of a deeper level now in doing this. The next thing is you allow no room for distractions. So whatever that distraction is, you put that down. You write down no room for distractions. Right underneath that, calm your mind. That's all I want you to do, is calm your mind at that point. That's it. There's no other thing that you need to do beyond that besides just calm your mind. Thoughts are going to pop up into your head. That's just how we are wired for this amazing reason. I don't know. But thoughts are going to pop up into your head, but you have total control of what you choose to react to. You understand? What you choose to react to is all upon you. You are your biggest problem in life, and you are also your biggest solution in life as well. So understand, at that moment, you calm your mind. You know what kind of trader that you are. You know what you're looking for to enter in the market. So when this setup occurs, when you're looking at this, all you're looking for is for price to come up to this zone here, and you're just trading what you see at this point. And if you're talking about, this is the minute chart, you're like, well, this is 10 pips, I'm not going to put my stop loss right here. This is 5 pips, whatever, I'm not going to put my stop loss right here. What I see right now is, well, I need to essentially, I'm going to enter off this MTOP here, but I need to put my stop loss like above here. And that's what you would have to do. You'd have to see that and say, okay, I'm gonna place my stop up here. And then when you look at things, you see, okay, 1.4, I like to trade for 2-to-1, or I like to trade to 3-to-1, whatever that is. I usually go for 3-to-1 trades. 2-to-1 is good as well. That means if you lose 5 trades, win 5 trades at 0, and at 2-to-1, then obviously you make your double what you lose. So as long as you're not trading 1-to-1, then and below, or definitely anything below that, then you'll be able to consistently make money over time. right? So this is the setup here. So, this is what you're looking at. So this is trading what you see. Now, at this point, you have, there's nothing else that you can do, guys. There's nothing, it doesn't matter what Trump says. It doesn't matter what Biden says. It doesn't matter what Hillary Clinton says. It don't matter what they say. It don't even matter what all these people say at this moment. What's going to happen is going to happen. It's just what it is. That's just what's going to happen. The market could go in your direction favorably. You might want to say, I'm going to sit out because, there's a bomb in Taiwan. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything because, um, I'm afraid. Whatever you choose to put into your mind that sounds the best, that's just what's going to happen. There's nothing else that you can control at that moment. So at this point, I'm not going to allow for distractions. And then the last and final thing, right? You trade what you see, and all you can do is, assess your stop loss, which is here. That's what I just did. I assessed my stop loss. I seen that the market went all the way up there, so I'm just going to put my stop above that high, and I'm going to trade that. And then the next thing is your risk. You can't be putting stupid amounts of risk on the trade, because if you do that, then it won't really make a lot of sense to do that, because if you put 10%, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, if you lose, you don't have control anymore. And it'd be great if you win that, of course, but the times that you lose, it absolutely, you tell me how much sense this makes, guys. Just go ahead and think about this. You win 5, 10, let's just say you win 10 trades in a row. You win 10 trades in a row at risking 50%. And then you lose the next 3 and you do the same exact thing. The first trade isn't gonna lose all your profit, but the second trade will. Because if you've won 10 trades in a row at 50%, you've blew your account up like nicely. But then if you have that same psychology, so you get the next trade and you lose 50%, then you lose 50% of, let's say you got it to $2 million. You lose $1 million. And then you get the next, and I'm just saying if you start with maybe like 100K or something like that, I don't know. I'm just throwing some numbers out there. You do the next thing, you lose 50%, you lose half of that. And then you do it again, you lose half of that. And then you do it again and you lose half of that. You take your account down all the way down. Now, chances are if you win in 10 trades in a row at 50%, it's not super high in doing that. I think the most I've won was like 7, like 6, 7, I think, somewhere around there. But it spanned over a month. It's actually spanned like 2 months. So it spanned over a 2-month span of time, but it was just like one trade, right? And then you're gonna lose. It's just a part of the game. You make some money, you gotta lose in order to win. If you do not lose money in this market, it will not work. Everyone would do the same thing. That means that there would be not enough, the funds wouldn't be able to go around, because when you lose, that money goes to someone else. That money gets pushed in the favor of someone else. So it's whoever is best at following their trading plan. Whoever is best at following their trading plan. So you trade what you see at this moment, and then you live with the outcome. There's nothing now beyond this point that you do besides you live with the outcome. So if price comes all the way up and it hits your order and you do this, you've done everything that you've needed to do now at this moment. Price is trading, price is moving. There's nothing else that you can do. And I think last year a lot of you guys were really understanding this, because I think I'm pretty sure there was 3 of you who had over 50% ROI trades towards the end of last year. And so it was really, really making a lot of sense. Many of you had the biggest trades that you've ever had. And that's great, because once you actually look at having $50,000 account and more, those kind of things are going to be they're going to be massive payouts, and I'm so excited for all of us for that. So when you do that, but whatever was happening in your mind, and I know it sounds, it might sound a little off, but that thinking that you allowed for that to happen, it cannot change whenever you get real funds. And for some of you, it honestly may change. Like that may be something that changes for you in the moment because it's the first time and it's fine. I mean, it's not bad if it changes and it's like, you're a little wobbly in getting your account up because it's like, okay, this is real funds and whatever you tell yourself, like whatever that amazing story is that you tell yourself in your mind, like whatever that is, that whatever helped you pass the challenge, whatever helped you get to that point to where you're at, don't allow for other distractions to come in that you talk yourself out of being great and making money in this, because that's the biggest thing that has to happen whenever you're doing this, guys, is that you continue to do exactly what made you successful in the first time in doing all this while you were trading with demo. Because when that comes up and you're like, oh, live account, it can't be like, okay, now I got to start doing things differently, I got this money, whatever. No, you just continue to trade the same. Like you know the setups that come up that you're looking for, and you just continue to do the same thing over and over again. That's what it is. So you separating, this is all a part of separation right here. Everything that I'm talking about, we just did that MTOP. That's your go-to move in that moment. It's just simply boom, having the go-to move and seeing it, and then creating the trade from it. That's what it is. Let's see. I was going to do. What was I gonna? Oh yeah. I know what I was gonna do. So this one. Let's see. I didn't know how many I was gonna do. Honestly, I'm just trying to think. How much did this go? If you were to do that, oh yeah, it went over 2 to 1, 2.5 to 1. Look at that, isn't that crazy? That is what size of stop is that? 1,400 pip stop loss. It says 14,000, and that thing went 36. That thing went all the way down to 1620. That thing went 2.5 to 1. Imagine, isn't that wild? 2.5 to 1 on that move right there. And let me tell y'all, gold is going to fly this year. Ain't that right, Devin? There's some big moves going on in gold, and I'm going to be right there with them. Right there with them. I got the VPFX black and red charts going on right now, as you guys can see. So what I want to do is, let's see, we have 17 on, let's see, I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Because we're going to do something we haven't done. I'm trying to think how I want to do this at this moment. Does anybody have any questions about this? Now that I think about it, what I just spoke on before I move on to the next thing. Does anybody have any questions? I think gonna pay out, yeah. No questions? Okay. Trying to think one of the best ways to do this. Damn. Troy, you're on your phone. I'm gonna pick somebody for this next thing that I'm gonna do, so you guys can see it. I just don't know who I'm gonna pick. Who would like to go? Is there anybody who would like to be the first person?
I'll go.
Who is that? Zach? Okay, cool. All right, Zach. Simple. Nothing crazy. Let me do this one. Let me do this real quick. Hold up. Okay, it's still on. It should be still on that. Oh dang, I almost ended the meeting by accident. How do I pull this thing up? Nice. All right, hold on. I'm fixing some stuff. So, yeah, if you guys just unmute yourself if you wanna say something. So in this instance, I think I can I? No, because I want to show you guys what I'm gonna do real quick. In this instance, I'm trying to find an easy little move real quick. Oh, this will be good. Nice. Let's see how we got this here. All right. So, yeah, this will be solid. So in this instance, right? Actually, I'm gonna use this one. Oh, hold it. This will be good too. All right, not gonna make this too complex. This is why I'm saying this. I am now going to unpause this. Everyone will be able to see it. Everyone will be able to see this, but it's gonna be the same exercise that we just did. But I'm gonna have somebody do the example. And then I want you guys to see how it is. I want you guys to see what it looks like in doing this. And then the key is to practice this. Try to do it in the best way possible. The way that I like to do it, for me, is I switch to a monthly chart on just a random, like a chart. And then what I do is I'll block my peripheral vision from seeing the chart as much as I can. Keep it on the monthly chart, go to the bar replay, and then scroll the bar replay across the screen to a certain point to where like it's not too far back to where I can't go to at least the day. And then what I do is I scroll it back, and then I click it, and I click the bar replay, and I wipe off the charts, and I train myself to trade what I see every single time, because you don't know what's going to happen in the market next, but you can make a prediction. You can make a very good prediction of what can happen if you follow your trading strategy properly. And you tell yourself, I am a what trader, right? So in this instance, Zach, what I want you to do is I want you, and I think I can do this. Yeah. In this instance, I want you to, yes. All right, I'm pretty sure, move your mouse. Yeah, you can control my mouse. Okay. So in this instance, like I said, I'm not going to do anything too complex in this moment, but on this monthly chart, and again, it's just easier to do this markup off the monthly pretty quickly. You ask yourself, you find your go-to move. Well, what's your go-to move in this moment? What in that easy answer to that is, what kind of trade are you?
Just looking off this M top.
Okay, so you would be looking at an M top in this instance.
Yes. I saw that. So there's that really long wick, which kind of pointed to double bottom to me, but it doesn't look like it's came back down for a re-entry point yet.
Mm-hmm. So in this moment, you're looking at the market to come up here and to take an M top trade
Nope. If you come back down,
here.
yep.
Interesting.
Yep. And then it had that. Had that really steep down trend right there. And then it kind of made a little uptrend
Mhm.
too as well, but broke that. So I'm kind of going off a break and retest on an M top too.
So in this instance, this doesn't look like this to you.
No, it definitely does. I'm
Mhm.
just waiting for it. It definitely needs to come back down
So if
for a
price came
reentry.
down to here, you would look to take a trade.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So here you go. Put that in where high you would take that trade.
Probably what's that? Right there. So, and then whatever 3 to 1 is. What is that? 900 and yeah, I'm not going to care about the pips or anything. Then I would just stack it from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, show me how you would do
Yeah, it's really hard to see because your screen's so damn long.
it.
Holy my, it's the whack, cuss. Yeah, probably something like so for a double bottom.
Okay, now we're gonna play this. I'm gonna play this now, and I'm gonna speed this up a little bit because this thing's going slower than slow. So what you guys are gonna do is you do this exact setup every time. You write down exactly the whole thing of how will you separate, and then this is what you look for is don't cheat yourself. Don't look to see what happens. So he's a double bottom trader. All of his entries got hit. Will the market now at this moment here? What he's done is he's done everything. So how will you separate? You have your go-to move. So he's a double bottom trader. That's what he's looking at taking is the double bottom trades. And then you allow no room for distractions. That part is extremely important. Do not overlook that because whenever this happens in trading, there's so many different things that can come up that you say to yourself of what's going on in the market. There's so many different things. So the best thing that you can do is not talk yourself out of anything and just trade what you see. That's it. And then the last and final thing is there's no control that you have over the market at all. It's just simply what is going to happen. So whatever decides to happen at this point, if price comes all the way down and stops him out, and then goes up, it just simply needed his money to go in the opposite direction. That's just what it was. And there's nothing else that you can do in that moment, guys. There's truly nothing that you can do. It's just, it is what it is. It happens. And those things happen in the market. It's fine. And so in these moments, he would have one take profit hit. He would have his other take profit hit. These things go on. And, he's on his way to already made 6% on that trade. And again, we're not worrying about that this is a monthly chart or not. That's not the concern. Now, in this moment here, this is the other thing. He got both of those trades. Now, in this moment, Zach, what are you thinking in your head? Thinking in?
Um, well, so my biggest entry would still be in.
Mm-hmm.
So technically now this would be a triple bottom, which I'm not a triple bottom trader, but I am a order block or liquidity zone trader. So I would see what price would do back in the zone to see if it gives me another spot for entry, and it also gave me a new stop loss as well.
Mm-hmm. So you have this setup here, you have this setup here, and there was your double bottom here off this, boom, boom, and boom. There is
And
double
the,
bottom.
I think the biggest thing too I'd look for right now where the price is at is to see if it keeps structure too in that zone.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. Keeping structure in the zone would be the next thing. So your stop losses would hold in those moments on all of those trades at this time. And so as you see, price has not went down, it held. And so whenever you guys look at this, These are things that are very, very important to watch. You have to see the way that price does. You have to see the way that things begin to happen in price, because the setup that he did was a double bottom, right? There's nothing else. He create his trading strategy, right? His plan would have gotten this trade out at 3%. It would have gotten this trade out at 3% because there's a 1% risk per position. This one would have went up for 1.6% up, and it wouldn't have paid him out. It wouldn't have went there. So his stop loss would have held. It would have set in this moment. It would have sat there, wouldn't have moved, and no one would have lost money in that moment. These are things that are extremely, extremely important, guys. Extremely important that you see, because again, live with the outcome. The outcome of this. You've seen this setup. When we initially looked at this, this was a perfect double bottom. Perfect double bottom. And also, Zach, so you don't get confused, a triple bottom would look like this right here. That would be a triple bottom.
You need more time in between it.
Yeah, it's too that's not. Look at the alignment of this, and this is really close to this. So that, and it would need to make pretty much symmetrical highs for it. Just like whenever it goes to do the triple top, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down, it goes right back like this again and comes up, and then it triple tops like that. And then it will hit that and then shoot down and break this structure right here, or it will come back up again and then break that structure. So that's how you'll look at those. And so when you see this thing's not really moving much. And this could, again, you picture this as a 1 minute chart. Get creative with this when you do this. It's when you see this, price and structure is what you're looking at. You're looking at structure when you're trading. So I say this all the time, price doesn't know time, all it knows is money. We look at time and we judge time off of it, right? That's what we do. Monthly, weekly, daily, like that. Those are the things that we choose to do. We judge it off of that. So when we see this, we judge 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. Now, I will say, and you guys know that the daily, weekly, monthly hold the most weight, but structure is still structure. And if you see a setup that you see and you have practiced it enough that you know your market well enough to be like, well, when GJ, starts trending on the 15 minute and it creates a really good uptrend, it usually follows trend very well in the day. And then you take your trades based off of that. Like there's things that start to come up as to like what you can begin to do. So, and seeing this, these are that's what he chose to do as his stop loss. And so, yeah, delete this off there. Prices went even higher up there now. So we've seen that.
All right, if you pause it, would it be a bad time to add to position right there if I still had my big position in?
Would you add position as a break and retest trader?
I would add position like right where the mouse is at, where it lines up with the the previous high right there. Yeah, I'd probably add a position there.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. You're adding position to a break as a break and retest trader.
Yep.
Yeah.
Catch a breakout trade, just for thinking if I'm at work or something,
Yeah, that's if that's what you have there, this is what you're looking at. Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And then if it takes me out, I mean, I'm already up 6-1 still.
Yeah. If it breaks and it sits up here and it begins to hold, because this isn't a real breakout right here. That's not a real. You need to see candles like stay above that area, stay above that zone. And then yes, if it held above that zone, then that's what you would look at doing. So I will I'm gonna delete these. I'm gonna do one more on this same one, and then we'll be done with this. So I'm gonna let this thing keep playing. So this is the things that again you guys need to be doing. Because again, you got to do these things. This is going to help you pass the challenge. This is going to help you get funded. Um, Doing these things that I'm showing you, they're all going to help. Again, this is the year that everybody gets funded. So that is my mission. That is my goal. To get as many people funded and able to able to leave their jobs and not have to worry about. So yeah, Zach, this would be like your if price came back here, that would be
Yep.
once it hits that would be like where you would look to buy.
Okay.
You were saying. So it doesn't. And in all honesty, just so we're clear. Matter of fact, you show me how you would do that. This line right here. Here, let me delete
That line, what do you mean? Show you how
Yeah,
I would do
how
that
would
line?
how would you look at this?
Oh,
How would you do the break and retest?
I would have it marked probably like so. Yeah, I probably would have it like that before even all this was there.
Nice. Yeah.
Then
Okay.
yeah,
So
wait
you
for
probably
it to
would
come
have
back.
caught that. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't gonna do it for you. So you probably would have caught that then.
Yeah, because I mean, look, we got 1, 2, 3, not that one, but then 4 hours all in that rejecting above
Yeah,
it.
that would be where you would enter right off that when it
Or
comes
4
back into
months, whatever.
liquidity.
Yep.
Yeah. So you did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty much exactly how I would do it.
And
I would do it like
so let me ask you this.
this. That's how I would do it. But with the way you did it is fine. I would,
Uh,
I go close and tips. So I would go that one there, and then that would give me that. Just because it does this would be fine. But that would be exactly how I would do it. So yeah.
Let me ask you this. What if I did this too?
Yeah, that's you being a trend
So that
trader.
break and retest, I mean, that wick just comes down perfectly in that zone and right on that trend line.
That's just trend.
Yeah.
That's just
But
trend.
this gives me a double confirmation, to get in right there.
Yeah, if that's how you look at it, yeah. I just look at it as a trend.
Right.
That's just an uptrend, and that's where price is liking to reject at.
Cool.
But then you would have to base your stop loss most likely off of these wicks right here.
Right. Okay.
That's how you'd have to look at that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't take that as a trend. I'd definitely take it as a break and retest it. But I mean, I probably would draw that up trend line.
hmm Yeah, I'm gonna let this play, and we're gonna do.
Are you saying you'd put your stop loss below those set of wicks? Or would you take it off the trend?
You talking about me or Zach?
Either of you, both of you?
If I was taking off the trend, I'd go off of the lowest wicks. Like I would record or look at the pips that it went down and base my stop off of that. But if I'm taking it off the break and retest, I would just drop it right below that box, probably below those wicks,
Yeah,
depending on how big my stop loss would be. So
yeah, that's a good
So
explanation.
like on that play, if you took your stop loss based on the break and retest with that wick, would you have gotten hit or was your
oh
stop
no,
loss
that probably
below
that
those?
wick, that doji candle right there would have definitely took me out.
Oh,
And how about you, JDI?
oh yeah, I would have looking at this, the trend that he has, I would have done it about like this right here. I would have had the trend drawn most likely just like this. The close of those, because that would have hit all the closes right in there. That would have hit all of the closes right through here. All of them. And then for what he was saying as being a break and retest trader, I would take entries like this. This is how I would be looking at it like that.
Yep.
Based off of that, I would know that this is the zone where it shouldn't go to. So I'd just place my stops all right there. All my stops would get placed right there on all of them. And then as we know, that goes 3-1. And that's the 200 pip stop, and that's a 700 pip. move. So that, and you know, I'm going to go down to the daily anyway and find the nitty gritty moves, and I'll have a solid stop on something like that. But actually, Zach, your I didn't even know we were at this point, but your stop held because there was actually two double bottoms that occurred in this. I'm going to show you. It's this really massive one right here, this one, and that was where you were looking to enter, and then it was this smaller one right here. So you would have avoided. So you would have avoided that, and I didn't know how you were going to do it, which was cool because I thought this candle might hit your stop, but you put it below enough to where it didn't. It got pretty close, but it didn't hit it. It was like your trade was like right here. But if any of you guys were to have just seen price like this, and you guys look at and you guys see this like that, and you see the move going down like this would also be valid for a trade right here. This is also a double bottom. That's the excitable move down. There's the pullback there, and price coming down like this as it's doing. That is coming down for a double bottom. So if you did both of those trades, if you were to have taken both of those trades, here's your setup through here, and you do it just like this, and you come over like this, like there's your move there, and you decide, you're like, okay, I'm gonna put, I'm gonna stack my orders like this, and this is what ends up happening through here. This is also correct to do this, and this was the this was the last one that I was gonna do, was this one right here. So this would also work, but I mean that would stop you out. You see that, and everyone sees that trade would get stopped out, and this is likely that this happened. A lot of people seen a double bottom on this here, and they chose to take this type of trade setup, but the market needed that liquidity, because what ended up actually happening, and the one that he originally did actually ended up holding. I didn't know if it would. I just wasn't for sure if it would, but the stacking that you did was really good on this. So you were like right here on that setup. That was like where your stop was. It was close. It wouldn't hit it though. It was definitely close, but that ended up being your setup, and then you would have ended up hitting all of your trades on 3-to-1. And again, I wasn't even saying look at this as a monthly chart. Just look at it as one of the smaller time frames, because those things go on the smaller. You're not really trading a monthly when we're trading anyway. We're trading more based off of the daily. We look at the monthly, weekly, and daily, but we're trading things more based off of the daily to make a higher percentage, a higher return in the month, to not put such massive stop losses. But you did that perfect. I couldn't have switched that up much more. I just wanted to see if your stop would hold, and it did.
You just wanted to see if I've been putting in work. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But yeah, so that's going to complete everything for the day. So remember, we have the let's see, let me pull this thing down. This is what we're looking at. How will you separate and find your go-to move? Allow no room for distractions. Trade what you see. Live with the outcome. Write that down. What kind of trader that you are. Your go-to move every single time the market comes up into a certain position, you just do it every time. Boom. That's what you do. You allow no room for distractions when that happens, and you just trade what you see. That's literally what you do, and you live with the outcome every time. We have no control beyond that point. And as humans, our minds, we love to have control and to know. That's what everyone wants, is to know for sure what's going to happen, and to have control of the situation when really we don't ever know what's going to happen. We can plan. That doesn't mean that stops us from not doing anything in life, but we don't fully know every single time. But yeah, so Angelica, the classes are for you Sunday, Monday, Wednesday at that time. Tuesday's class is stuff that a lot of you guys have already done. And the Sunday class is for everyone. Monday is for the advanced elite zone and the accelerated elite fun people. And then Wednesday, the same thing. The regular elite zone, I'm going to be working with a few people that is just going to be over a lot of stuff that we've done last year that they haven't done. So a lot of the stuff is stuff that you guys have seen, but we'll have some of those things that are pulled into these classes. But Wednesday is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more interactive. I'm just going to be putting things together that are just going to help everybody consistently, week in and week out. So practice these things. It is Monday. There's an entire week to trade. And if there's no setups that you guys have or anything that has formulated, then there's no reason to trade. It'll just be like that sometimes. There'll just won't be trade setups, no reason to trade, and just go do whatever. Still do your daily routine, still have your daily habits and stuff that you do. Whether that's check the charts, get on your computer, check them before you go to sleep, and see if there's any of your moves in the market there. If there's not, then obviously you don't do them. If there is, if there isn't, then yeah, you don't have to do anything, and just continue to keep your habits. And that's what's gonna help. And then we'll have new stuff that we do. But like I said, my goal is to get people funded between the months of April and December. So if anybody has any other questions, Are we good? Got that. Yep. So Wednesday, I will see you guys. The Calendly link, if anybody needs to book those, that's in the group chat. That's pinned in the group chat. If anybody has questions about that, just hit me up. And yeah, you guys have a blessed night. Appreciate everyone on. There'll be a different person that'll go on Mondays also for different things that we do. I'm not always going to have people do stuff, but there will be certain things that'll need to be done, and I'll call on different people. I just didn't know who might want to go first tonight. But all right, y'all. JDR is out this thing. Y'all have a blessed one. Hit me up if you have anything else, and I will speak to you guys later. Peace out, y'all.